Hey everyone, welcome to Shifty's Club. Today, excuse me a second. There we go, comfy. I'll talk about exactly what I promised in the last trading card game episode. And this one's to do with tech to perfect. This is the last one and probably the most important. Now, I'm not going to beat around the bush. This should take around no more than 10 minutes, probably around 5. If we're lucky. We might get done by 3 or 4. Doubt it. But, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now that Tech to Perfect is the most important part of Pokemon because whenever you use a deck, you need to be able to play against decks that you don't do well against. Now, let me just say this. Say you're using Lucario Blissey Prime, okay? Yeah, it's an okay deck. Now, you do pretty well against ZBTS if they don't set up. Now, decks you struggle against, like Gothitelle due to weakness, and that's where you struggle. So you could take in something like, say, Mew Prime, right? Of course. Then you could probably follow it up with something like Jirachi to go against, like, Magnezones and Kingdras and stuff like that. And that's basically what I'm going to touch on. I pretty much described it exactly what I'm going to be talking about that short amount of time. So I don't really need to be doing this, but I'm going to. Now, to Tech to Perfect, which is a little savvy term I could have came up with myself, is probably one of the most important parts of Pokemon because you need to be able to tech your deck against any bad matchup or to cover any weakness. Now, this being said, over-teching a deck can be very dangerous because you lose consistency, and if you know me, I'm huge on consistency. You could probably see me running 28, 29, 30 different cards in the deck, but I'm still consistent, and I found a way to manage consistency. Now, look back to my Eevee raid. 30 different cards in the deck, and it worked like a charm. It was consistent in the setup, and had 30 different cards in it, coming from the emerging power, so we're good with that. Now, no victories came out today, which that tells you what day I'm making the video. And I'm kind of late getting video out. I came from work and it's been busy. I'm sure you guys understand. If you don't, shame on you. Not kidding. We're gonna keep talking about the Tech to Perfect. Now, I'm gonna give you some very good scenarios on different really good decks that have Tech to Perfect in order to cover bad matchups or a discovered weakness. Now, most players don't discover weaknesses. Most of them have a set deck structure if the deck is popular, such as like Megazone, which is Yin Mega Magnezone, or well, I don't want to see Reshibo or Reshiflosion. I want to say Reshi Broken, because that's basically what it is Reshi Broken. It's broken Reshiram deck. And either way you use it, I mean, it's broken, because you can either manually attach as many energy you want from your hand, or get them back from your discard pile, and then add damage on for its outrage attack, which is just ginormously an advantage. But enough of that. Let's get to Tech to Perfect. Now, most of your Yin Mega Magnezone decks will tech in either a 101 Kingdra, which is 1 Horsey and 1 Kingdra Prime, and have rare candies in there for Magnezone. But they'll use a spare one in case they bring out Kingdra. And while this is good, it's for matchups to where Yin Mega needs that extra damage to snipe, or any given matchup you need that 1 extra damage counter, and you can get it from Kingdra. Some do a 2-1-2 line, but that's really heavy, and it's not really, it really hurts them because they really only need to tech into that for the extra damage. Other decks will run something like Jirachi, where you attach where you have a psychic and as many other energies as you need to devolve your opponent's Pokemon in play after spreading with the Omega Wall, or attacking Magnezone and them switching, or getting consistent knockouts, that sort of thing. Now, some of them will even take in Donphan, which I'm not too sure about, just because of the Earthquake itself and the huge retreat cost that only Magnezone can really cover. So let's just keep it at that. And those are really the only ones you ever use. You'll never see something like Shaman, even if your opponent tends to move energy around a lot with like a palm or something like that. I mean, it really doesn't happen that often, so you really don't have anything to worry about. Now, another thing to think about is something like a Reshi Broken deck. Either way you look at it, they run either Ninetales or a heavy support draw line. So most of them would rather use well, let me say it depends. If you're running Reshiflosion, you probably prefer to have Ninetales unless you use Sages, Professor Juniper, tons of Junk Arm, and Recycle. And why did I say recycle? Well, usually 2 or 3 really helps. Reshiflosion, I mean, I did it, and it saved my butt when I flipped heads. When I flipped tails, it was okay. I mean, you still got that shot of getting the whatever you need out back out of your deck. And most of the time, heck, I just got the double color synergy I needed for Reshiram. But, I mean, it's different. In Embor, more than likely, you would rather use support draw just because you can, save your energy retrievals and stuff like that, that sort of thing. So let's go to another deck. It's another good deck. It's got Durant's going to be popular. Durant will be popular. The way to run it, straight up Durant's. I mean, of course you're going to need a few other Pokemon to help you out along the way, like a Tecton Ditto. And the reason I say that is so your opponent can have that less bench space. Of course, it's not really needed, but in case your opponent plays Durant too, you need to be able to make sure you can limit their bench space to where they can only have 1 extra Pokemon other than Durant out, which really isn't helpful, but sometimes does help. Plenty of Seeker, Super Scoop Up sometimes helps. Most of the time you'll use metal, special metal, rainbow, and basic metal. And the reason I said rainbow is because sometimes you even use Manaphy to help you out there and not being clothed to the table. So Manaphy's got free retreat anyway, so you really don't have to worry about it. And that's basically what I'm trying to get at. Skarmory sometimes helps. Now, whenever Sky Narrow Bridge comes out, you would use about 3 or 4 of them, along with Smeargle, 3 or 4 of them, and you could set up Durant turn 1 and just destroy. And when Sky Narrow Bridge comes out, Smeargle will rise in popularity, Durant will destroy, worse than it will at cities, and ZBTS will be the only thing to counter it, so we'll be looking for that. Now, how did I mention to tech it? Well, for now, use something like, say, Manaphy in groups of like 2 or 3. And right now, I would look at taking in, well, I don't know if Lightning still has a resistance to metal. If it does, taking Runes of Alpha. If not, then just go for the Burn Tower. And something like that, because every deck needs Stadium, regardless what it is, because you need to be able to throw off your opponent's strategy, plus you need something to support your deck. So almost every deck requires a Stadium of some sort, even if it's just one, just so you can either disrupt your opponent or gain an edge in any way possible. And last but not least, if your Pokemon can at all gain an edge from something like rescue, or let me just say a double colorless, rescue, any kind of special energy, do it. It will save you so much time and so much effort, unless you're at the point to where you need basic energy for your attack, such as say your attack requires for each basic energy attached. So in that case you wouldn't, obviously. But next episode, don't know what it'll be. Unless you're a video game player too, then I'll be talking about the last part, which is strategizing around your opponent after you've already built up all of your Pokemon on the video game, and of course switching around, strategizing, checking moves, and how to get around sense next time at Shifty's Club.